Hey guys, welcome back to Open It and Play. This is Mike, and today we're going to be looking at the Marvel Legends Wolverine 2-pack. This is Marvel's Patch and Marvel's Joe Fixit. This set came out a long time ago. It's been sitting in my pile for ages, but I never did review it, so trying to catch up on some reviews now. As you can see, I'm releasing way too many videos. So the algorithm is punishing me, but I do want to get caught up a bit. So, sorry, this is maybe just a little bit high. Okay, so yeah, this is Wolverine as Patch and Hulk as Joe Fixit, basically. Sorry, I've got this sticker on here, so it's covered up. Can't see the details, but okay, we'll get this guy out of the package. I actually haven't opened it, so I do have to either run my fingernail or use some proper scissors. I think I'll use scissors this time. Let's see what we got here. Okay, it's easy. I think this will just slide out, no problem. Okay, wow, and they are heavy combined. We have a nice backdrop that collects a lot of the artwork from that time period, and you can just see how big Joe Fixit is there with Wolverine. I don't know if this one's going to measure up to be quite that tall or quite that wide, but he's not too bad. He's just not going to be quite as wide or quite as big. But I think he is going to dwarf this Wolvie, or this Patch, I should say. Okay, let's look at the accessories first. We'll go with Joe Fixit. If you don't know Joe Fixit, it is when a different part of Hulk's personality takes over, and I believe it takes over after a traumatic event, but it may be because of the psychiatrist's help to try to sort of realign Hulk's personality. But I think it comes from a traumatic event. But anyways, Hulk is suddenly gray, and he is sort of not acting as he normally would. He is sort of playing the role of a bad guy, and he gets work as a bouncer in Las Vegas, I believe. So he sort of becomes an enforcer or a henchman for some corrupt types. And in this story, I think Patch, Wolverine in disguise, convinces him to join him to sort of take out some of the corrupt people in Madripoor. Madripoor is the area in Asia. It's not a real place, but it is in the Marvel Universe. And for that area, it is, well, basically like a villains galore type place, a place of corruption. So I think Madripoor is probably modeled after Hong Kong, but I don't know exactly. So, okay, so that is Hulk as Mr. Fixit. We're going to put him off to the back, and we'll put Wolverine Patch's accessories out. So he's got just a little bit of tape over these spare fists. I got a couple of fists. I'm sorry, my hand got barbecued during fireworks, so if you see this rusty looking spot on my hand, got some firework stuff into my skin. It didn't hurt, but it did change my skin color, so kind of funky. Okay, and we also have this alternate head, which I think is looking pretty good. It's sort of a smart alecky head for Wolvie, so that's kind of not out of character, but it's kind of funny to see. Okay, and he's got his hair duded up all nice and neat, even though it looks pretty ridiculous. Okay, and we'll get Patch out of the package too. Okay, I think we'll try to size up these two guys and check their height real fast. Sorry, I think Wolvie's going to be hard to get to stand. Patchy, I should call him Patchy. He's got these hands that have the the more realistic bladed claws, but these claws tend to come out very easily. So we'll see how bad it is for this figure. Okay, there they are side by side, and of course they're not in the middle, as always. Okay, and they're sort of out of focus. Okay, so that's the two of them. Let's take a measurement on their height. We'll go with Hulk first because he is the dominant one. About here, I believe. Looks like he's standing at just a little bit over 8 inches. Okay, 8 and almost a quarter. 8 and an eighth to 8 and a quarter. It's a pretty tall guy to the top of his noggin or hair. And Patch is going to be a little bit harder to check. To the top of the wispy bumps on his hair, he is going to stand just under 6 inches, about 15 centimeters. Sorry, I think I forgot for Mr. Fixit how tall he stood in centimeters, but hopefully I said it. I'm not sure. Okay, let's look at the articulation on Hulk first. These figures are very simple because almost no paint needed. They're just both basically in this kind of suited body, sort of tux. But I believe this is a tux too, but does have a little bit of a different color difference. Hulk's head is on a dumbbell joint, and this thing should get you a little bit of range if his head doesn't sit too low. Okay, once you pop it off, it's kind of a challenge to pop back on, but okay, I got it. So yeah, he can get a little bit of attitude, but it does depend sort of where you're wanting him to look. Okay, and speaking of where you want him to look, looking up is going to be a problem. He can look up that much. He's a bit hindered by his suit jacket, but if you tuck it into the suit jacket, you can get it further. It depends on how this lies. Okay, and looking down, his head's going to get caught on his bow tie, so his down is just about like that. Okay, obviously side to side is normal. So okay, his arms will go all the way around. This is the old suited body. I think it's probably the old Kingpin body. Yeah, we can just pop out his arms because that's the mold. So you can modify this guy easily if you're thinking of putting this suit onto some other figure. Of course, you got to match the colors, but all right. And then his arms do have a single jointed hinge and pivot point. Okay, and his fists are horizontally hinged. The others were also horizontally hinged, by the way. I didn't say that earlier, I don't think. With this one, also horizontally hinged. Okay, so you can get him into a kind of a gruff, angry looking pose, but obviously we might want the different head on there for that. So, okay, with the waist, he has, just a moment, this is a hard one to check. He does have a diaphragm joint, but it's going to be hard to see exactly because it's under that big guy. But yeah, if you have Mr. Hyde, or if you have one of the old Kingpins, I think it's about the same articulation, even maybe the same pieces. He can kick up only that far. So this is similar to the Hulk body. I know he's Mr. Fixit, not Hulk, but it is similar to the main Hulk body. Okay, his ankles will only go that far, single hinge, but they do pivot, and he does have a thigh cut, so you can move that easily. Okay, as far as his feet go, they go back a little bit, more than you would think concerning this giant cuff of his pants. Forward a little bit, and they have ankle pivot, but it is hard to use. Okay, do they have an ankle swivel? Yeah, they do. He has a swivel in there too. Okay, that's a little bit better than I remembered. Okay, just for fun, I'm going to put the different head on him while he's standing in the background. Okay, let's move on to Patchy. Okay, and with Patch, it's going to be our usual Wolverine body, but of course this is a suit, so that part of the sculpt is different, but the proportions should be the same as our normal Wolverine bodies. Okay, his head is, oh, that's a surprise. His head is not on a hinge and ball joint. So you will be able to get him a lot more expressive. That's nice. He can look up a little bit. He can look down a lot. That's decent. Okay. His shoulders don't appear to have a butterfly joint in there. They'll go all the way around up about that far. He's got his bicep cut, blends in nicely. Double jointed pinless elbows will get you like that. And his hands do hinge horizontally, and the fists are both horizontally also. Okay, so that's it for his arm. Let's move those out of the way. Under here, I don't think we're going to be able to see, but he's got a kind of usual swivel. So it's maybe an ugly swivel, but it does get hidden by this. So you have no diaphragm joint. He can kick up to about here. You are hampered, yeah, that's the right word. You are hampered by the jacket, but it's not too bad. He does have a thigh cut that works well, nice and smooth. His double jointed pinless knees will get you back all the way. I don't know if the proportions, maybe his lower leg is just a little bit too long, but it's going to be mostly hidden by this thing covering his waist. Okay, and then his ankles will hinge back a lot, forward just barely at all. He does have ankle pivot. Does he have? Yes, he has the boot cut or ankle swivel in there too. So the ankles on both of these guys are satisfying. I don't know for the rest of the thing. This guy's a pretty outdated buck, but yeah, that's the way it goes. Marvel Legends. Okay, so that is the two of them, Patch and Mr. Fixit. I don't know if you guys have interest in these characters, but I did have interest in this set. I wanted to have Patch for my Wolverine setup, showing like all the different versions of Wolvie. Obviously, it's not all the versions, but quite a few main versions of him. I think I have about six different versions. Maybe World War II, Weapon X, when he debuts, his debut costume, his 80s costume, his Jim Lee costume from the 90s, and maybe his Patch costume. I want to get a samurai Wolverine. Why did they not make like a samurai costumed Wolverine? He doesn't have to be in a samurai costume, but at least it would be cool if he were in some traditional Japanese clothes. So, but anyways, thanks guys for joining me. F Ice, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.